Hey guys, welcome back to NY Sports MC. Some news is coming out from the Senior Bowl practices about some wide receivers that are really stepping it up in practice. Excited to see what they can potentially do Saturday at the Senior Bowl. But wanted to make this quick video as two of them in particular have some ties to the Jets. And for the reasons of those ties, I can definitely see them being targeted by the Jets. The first one is Michael Pittman Jr. And yes, he is the son of the former running back who played for the Buccaneers for quite some time, Michael Pittman. But he played with Darnold at USC and is looking to be probably a day two pick. Somebody can definitely see us picking, potentially using our early third round pick and package it with maybe a fifth or sixth round pick to move back up into that second half of the second round. Because I think our first pick in the second round might be a little too early for him, but who knows? Still a lot of time for him to continue to rise up the boards. Michael Pittman stands at 6'4", 220 pounds. And to me, that is somebody we absolutely need, especially if we do bring Robbie back. You have Robbie as the burner on the one side. You have Jamison Crowder as the shifty slot guy. And then you have this nice big possession receiver in Pittman. I think that they would all complement each other really well. But I wanted to read a quote from Todd McShay. He says, all he does is work on the jugs machine every single day. He's big, he's 6'4", he's 220 pounds. He just looks the part of a wide receiver that you're looking for in the NFL. Doesn't have great speed, but what he does so well is separate late and create yards after the catch because he's so strong and he's so focused as a player. He has 95 catches this year for USC. They've had a lot of problems offensively. I get it, but Pittman, to me, is one of the best 5 wide receivers in this upcoming NFL draft. Now, that last statement is huge from Todd McShay. This is a very deep and talented wide receiver class. Do I think he's a top 5 wide receiver in the class? Probably not, but that just shows you how deep and how much talent is at this wide receiver class. Definitely somebody I'm hoping we can get, like I said, maybe if we got back up in that second round. If we did have to take that top of the second round pick to take him, if they really liked him, I would definitely do that. Also heard they were asking Pittman about Darnold, or it came up in a sense, and he said how much he loved playing with Darnold, how Darnold was the best quarterback he's ever played with. Said he hasn't really spoken to Darnold much recently because he didn't want to be a bother to Darnold, knows that he's the franchise quarterback of an NFL team. He pretty much said that Darnold had enough on his plate, but he said when they get back together, they've had a great relationship. It's like they've never missed a beat. So I really love that for Darnold too, having familiarity with the player and being a nice big-bodied target for him to go after. Definitely somebody I think we should look to target and keep our eye on as the Senior Bowl game actually comes through, and then the combine. So that's definitely somebody we want to keep an eye on. Hopefully he doesn't rise up the boards too much, because I don't see us trading like potentially back up into the first round if he really climbed that high. I don't know if he will just because of how loaded the class is. But hoping to get him second to maybe even third round from all reports, how well he's doing. I don't know if third round might be reasonable anymore, but there's still a lot of time. You know, like McShay said, if he runs a slower than normal 40, maybe we can get him in the third round. But the second guy I wanted to go through is Van Jefferson. Now, I know Van Jefferson did not have a big career at Florida. He's never topped 700 receiving yards. His connection to the Jets is his father is Sean Jefferson, who is the wide receiver coach for the New York Jets. So you know, to a certain extent, we have to have our eyes on him. We have a coach in the building who's his father. So you know, I'm sure he's telling Gaze, telling Joe Douglas, making sure that they're aware of what his son can do as a potential target for them. And I wanted to read another quote here from Yahoo Sports' Eric Oldholm. He said, the son of former NFL receiver and current Jets wide receiver coach Sean Jefferson looked polished and fast. Even if Jefferson likely won't be amongst the best 40-yard dash runners at the position when we get to the NFL scouting combine, he wrote. What matters more is how fast a player plays, and Jefferson checks that box. He ran clean routes and made several smooth grabs on Tuesday, and reads like a prospect who will be a better pro than his college production would suggest. I also heard reports that he is a technician when it comes to running routes. So he could be a very good target for us later in the draft. I don't think you have to use you definitely don't have to use a day one pick. You probably don't even have to use a day two pick. This is somebody we could look at as a day three pick. Maybe he doesn't even produce that much in his first year, but somebody that we can try to mold and really develop into a player that can be serviceable for us. Will he ever be a number one? Doesn't really sound like it, but could he be a nice, reliable receiver? Sounds like it. One of the biggest things that helps people transition to NFL wide receiver is the ability to run routes. If you know how to run all the routes and you can run crisp routes, it helps you to provide separation and get open. So those are just two names that are coming out of this Senior Bowl that have direct ties to the Jets that I think the Jets will be monitoring, and we should continue to monitor throughout the year. So let me know what you think about these guys. Do you think they'd be worth the pick? What round would you want them in? And as always, Jet up.